just really stretch yourself and be more. This year we're breaking the bias. So
be more. Hi guys, welcome right back to my channel. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Returning subscribers, welcome. And if you're new here, where have you been? Where have you been? Thank you for always tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. You already know this is your favorite TV brownie, Mowanbe, and you're on to cruise with Mowanbe. Today on my show, I have Rhoda. I don't know how to, introduce Rhoda, so I'll allow her to do it herself. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, my name is Rhoda Aguonigho. I am a fashion consultant and project manager. I'm the founder of Loud Africa, which is an organization that creates opportunities for emerging fashion entrepreneurs and talent in Africa. So my work is generally around the creative economy in Africa, so fashion, arts, and all of that. I'm also very into women development and transformation. So I currently still run a community for women called the Women Place, and a foundation also that's like a food bank, and then we just help women in need. So I think that's
basically it, and I like that. So in celebration of the International Women's Day, we're going to be focusing on a topic that cuts across the female gender, which is focused on the girl child. And like she mentioned, she's very particular about women development. So let me start like this. For me, being a girl child is not something we decided to be. We didn't get to choose our gender. So before I just say how it feels like, how do you feel like being a girl child?
So honestly, I feel like a lot of times I can't relate to let's say the drama that comes with being a girl child. I think for me generally, I count it a privilege. I find it empowering, I find it very powerful.
Actually.
I just think about the fact that I'm a woman and there's so much that I can do. There's so much power that I carry, that no other person carries. There's so much strength inside of me. And even being able to multitask, being able to create things, being able to do things. So I find it very powerful.
Actually.
So I don't know if that answers the question, but really for me, being a girl child, I find it very empowering.
Actually, I think from what you said, I think women generally, or the female gender generally, we have this natural ability to multitask.
Yeah.
To do things because we handle the home, the work front, different communities. We do a lot and we're emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I like about being a woman, I am emotionally intelligent and I love it. So how would you raise your own girl child, or how would you prefer to have been raised?
Okay, so I would say that because women are so powerful and multidimensional, where a lot of women struggle, or where a lot of us struggle, is really with balance. And that's like where I would start with, and I would then take it to like the spirituality, which is the core, and which is where I feel like every woman finds her balance the most. So while raising a girl child, or how I'd love to be raised, would be like just being taught how to find that balance in my core and with my spirituality. I find that once, at least with me, once I was really connected to like who I am, who made me, the power that I am, just connect, what I carry, being able to connect to my spiritual values, being able to connect to, to God in that sense, and just finding my anchor in that, that's really like balance. And I feel like from that, every other thing comes out of it. From that, like the morality comes, your, education, business, everything comes out of it. And even though, and when you said that, it's difficult, even in those moments of like difficulties, just knowing that, okay, there's an anchor, there's a balance, there's a way that I can retreat and refresh and just get myself together in that sense. So a place that I can go back to, be anchored to, I think that really helps. So, with my female children or female child, I think one of the most important things, or the first things that I'll teach her is learning that balance, with her spirituality, with who she is, it's like who she was made,
who you are, who you are. I think another thing we're still dealing with, I don't know when we're going to be over it, is the setback that comes with gender roles, gender barriers. How do you think we can tackle this gender role, gender setback? And I can't really wrap my head. Maybe you can help me, because I don't understand gender equality anymore.
Okay, so I think this whole gender equality feminism thing is just I don't know. I know that it was started with good intentions because right from the beginning of time, a lot of times women were not given room to flourish and express themselves. And you know, women have these things in them. We have really smart women, we have really creative women, and you know, for years they were not given room to express. Yes, women could not drive, women could not vote, women could not do it.
Even till now, there's some issues.
Yeah, so that really was the, I believe, was the originality of feminism, or that was the agenda and purpose of it, in a sense that, you know what, in terms of like economic and social living and lifestyle, let women also be given an opportunity to flourish. Not necessarily that, you know, women are trying to compete with men, but it was more about a thing of, you know, let women be women. And women being women is not just cooking and cleaning and giving men. Women being women is women being women is being creative, being strategic, being able to provide solutions. So I really believe that that was what feminism was about. But just like any movement, just like anything, you know, the more it goes, the more it's...
We try to attach something to it.
Yes, you know, the more it's, what's that word? It gets polluted. Everybody brings in their own agenda, you know, and it just becomes...
Personalizing.
Yes, so, and of course, people would always just hold on to hashtags or taglines to justify their foolishness, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I mean, justify what is not right.
Yeah, so I mean, generally, we know like where you're strong, we know where you're not strong. In fact, especially when it comes to like relationships and marriage, I feel like with feminism and gender and all of those things, it should just be a thing of what works for the two of you. You know, I really believe so. You know, in terms of like cooking, cleaning, who's better at it? I mean, I've seen a lot of men that are way better at cleaning. They can't stand death, you know, and women can learn to be scattered. And maybe that guy, you know, he won't be able to cook, but the woman knows how to cook. I've seen families where they have that arrangement. Oh, the woman is the one cooking, the man is the one handling things that has to do with like cleaning and home arrangement and all of that. You know, so it's really what works for you and your partner in a way that is sensible. Balance is key.
You need to know what you're doing and how best to do it.
Exactly.
So even if society is trying to put a barrier or give the female gender a setback, you yourself should stand up to what is right. Stand up for what you can. If you prove yourself as a woman that you can do this thing, I don't think anybody will be able to push you.
Exactly.
We have women topping the charts, more Abudu. If we're even looking at the media space, we have more Abudu, the film industry, we have Shola Shokowale. They cannot say that they do not see, they are not seeing them doing their thing, doing well. So I feel like if you can stand up to Kemi Adetiba, Lala, a host of many others, we need to find what makes you you, what makes me Mowanbe, what makes Rhoda, what makes you Kemi, or makes you Toyosi. Find yourself, find who you really are. And with that being said, how best do you feel like women need to, because I feel women need to take the global chances that are available, take up sports in the political setting, in the media industry, in tech, in fashion, you know, let's just name it. How do you think women can take up chances, take up sports, find their place, and actually grow into that grow into that strength that they will be noticed without even intentionally trying to impress anybody? That's the word. Impress anybody. How best do you think we can?
Okay, so I think like exposure helps a lot. You know, I always say don't limit yourself to your environment or to what you know or what you think. There are so many women, in as much as there are women on the other side being silly and all of that, there are also women who are doing really amazing things, who are popular and who are not popular, but they're still doing amazing. We have amazing women in tech, in fashion, in media, in business. So exposure really helps. Just exposing yourself to content from these women, you know, reading about them, listening to them, researching about them. It just opens your mind to a world of possibilities of what you can achieve and what you can become. And you know, also another thing is you also need to break out of that mindset of limitation, or that you know you're not good enough for something, and something that women, you know, we second out ourselves a lot. We sell ourselves short. You know, for example, if they bring a man and a woman here and they ask them what salary expectations are, even though a woman might do the job better, she would ask for a salary that is lesser. You know, while the guy will want to go all the way out. You know, women, we tend to just want to humble ourselves and shrink ourselves, and it's also like it's a factor of how we've been we've been groomed. So you need to break out of that mindset. Break out of that mindset of being small, of that you have to shrink yourself, or you don't want to take up too much space. You don't want to be too loud. You don't want to be too audacious. You know, look at yourself and be, what are my interests? What am I interested in? What am I passionate about? You know, what industry do I want to go in and shape? What solutions am I thinking about? And once you find those solutions, invest in your mind. You know, invest in your mind and in knowledge. In the sense that in your industry, invest in your knowledge. Like, read a lot, watch things, like find your own way of learning. I find that for me personally, I learn a lot from just observing. So because of that, I watch a lot of videos. I stalk people a lot on Instagram because I know that just what not stalk like the bad stalk,
Exactly.
but
Just
like
follow up with good things.
I check their pages, I check their stories because I know that I learn from just watching, from observing. I pick things. You know, for you it could be that, you know, from listening. So like, what audio things can you listen to? What classes and things can you go for? You know, once you identify the industry that you want to function in, be bold and audacious about going for it. I mean, there'll be limitations. There'll be places in your mind where you feel like, oh, you know, are you good enough? Can you do it? I mean, every time we want to take on new challenges, there's just a place in our mind and in our heart that just kind of stops us. But you have to remember that if you step out of it and you go for it, you can actually get it. You know, so to go global, identify where you want to play. You know, invest in your mind in terms of your knowledge about your industry, your skills. Also invest in your mind in terms of like your mental development, about the possibilities and what you can achieve. You know, give yourself the right exposure. Make sure that you're listening to the right things, you're in the right community, you're around the right people, and collaborate. That's another very powerful thing.
Collaboration.
You know, collaborate. Don't hesitate to, if you see another woman or a man doing something that is similar, don't hesitate to reach out to them. The worst that can happen is that they won't answer you.
Exactly.
That's literally the worst that can happen. And you move on. Somebody else will say yes. Like, I mean, there's a project that my organization is currently working on, and for a particular part of the project, we want to collaborate with like an international speaker firm, and there were two people I had in mind, and I reached out to the first person on LinkedIn, and I didn't get a response, and I'm just like, okay, no problem. I went to the second person, and I got a response. If the second person did not respond, I would have gone to the third person until I get somebody to actually respond. You know, so like, all that fear of rejection, fear of am I embarrassing myself, or I don't look, embarrass yourself. You will get over it. They will get over it. The moment you're at the top, everybody, in fact, have you seen those things that people do? Maybe like whiskey blows now, and then somebody will now come and be like, whiskey used to be in my DM, and all of those kind of things. Like, that is it. Like, even when you go, all these people that you're so scared to embarrass yourself before, or feel like they're ignoring you, they will be the ones to recognize you and recognize your work, and even want to affiliate themselves with you
and fans you
you know. So just break out of those barriers and push yourself to be more, because honestly, for being honest, with women, we have more challenges, to be honest. Like, we have, I mean, there's the emotional challenges. We have to deal with a lot of emotions and hormones, you know. There's our body, there's a time where your body's just acting out, where there's period, there's family, you know. If you're married, it's much more, because you have to take care to your husband and your children. There are a lot more barriers, you know. But just be fearless and be willing to constantly go for it, you know. Like, even when it looks like it's not working, or things are bringing you down, and I know that it sounds like motivational speaking, but it's not. It's what I've seen that has worked, you know, and it's still working. So yeah, just go for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? If you fail, you go again until you get it right.
Because to buttress what she said, the society is already biased with women, like the women factor or the female gender or anything that pertains to women. They want you to get married before 30. Society expects you to do this. There's so many expectations. There's so many biased situations. So I feel like as a woman, like she said, go all out. Do what is best for you. It's very beautiful to see a woman anchor a show or stand up and you're speaking so intelligently well, and you're representing and you're winning. It's so much joy for me as a woman, and for a lot of persons. I'm like, who is that woman? How did she do that? People even want, because if it's a man, they'll be like, okay, it's a man, it should be bold, it should be. There's a lot of bias for men too, but I'm just even talking about the female gender now, that go all out. Do you. When you excel, you'll be happy for yourself that you took that step. Okay, so this year's theme has something around building a future with women in consideration for sustainability of the future. So that's like considering women to be an integral part of the world. How can we from now build a future with women in it? Women, we need to thrive. We need to do well, because it's in what we do that the next generation will see.
Yes.
A lot of people see through their mothers, through their sisters, their aunties. They feel like there's a lot of power that we possess, a lot of strength that we carry. So I feel like you need to try, be consistent with what you're doing, be happy. Find if what you're doing does not give you joy, switch to something else. Find who you are. When you have that beautiful self-esteem, that amazing courage, you carry yourself as a woman and you are all out and you're doing so fine, the world will come for you. The world will come for you. There are some names that you would call now and they're like, oh, look at Oprah Winfrey. I mean, there are lots of persons, even Michelle Obama, if we want to really go for it. Even here in Nigeria, I've mentioned Moabudu, I've mentioned Kemi Adetiba, Lala, Akindoju. There are a lot of persons. I mean, names are not even coming to mind now. A lot of women
that are not popular.
I mean, Tomilola of Bankley, if you want to come to tech, Tomilola of Bankley, there are a lot of persons. How many do we even want to mention? Kiki in the fashion and the media entertainment industry, there are lots of persons you can look up to. Adeswa, Wellington, lots of persons that you can positively stalk, like she said, on social media, and you can learn from them. People are organizing mentoring sessions. Go all out. I know you have one or two things to say as we round up the show, please.
Okay, so I think you really said everything, to be honest. I feel like, we could always talk about the bias and everything as it relates to women, but I think it's also fair to bring up the fact that there are a lot more opportunities now. There's a lot more focus on women now. There are a lot more opportunities for women now across various sectors. In tech, fashion, media, there are a lot more opportunities now. The society has seen what women can do and is creating more room for women to try, for women to take up space. So let's not lean on that bias thing, because some women will not use that one to blame. But there's a lot more opportunities, and really you just have to go for it. You have to put in the work. Putting the work in your mind, in your skills, in your presentation, putting the work in being consistent, putting the work, putting your books together, whatever it is that you've decided that you want to go for, whatever industry you decided that you want to focus on, just put in everything and go for it and be consistent with it. And I think that's another place where women usually have issues. I do find that men are more consistent, especially when it comes to business. For other things, women can be consistent with family and all of that. But when it comes to business, sometimes you do a business for 2, 3, 4 years and it's not working, and it's easy for you to just want to give up. But then you find that sometimes with men, they think of how they can recycle it, how they can make it better, how they can transition into a new thing and all of that. So let's also be consistent. It takes a while sometimes to hit some things, to make some things happen. The women that she mentioned, they didn't just happen in one day. And as much as possible, get all the help you need. Connect with communities that give you resources, give you help. Connect with friends, with people, with mentors. Just really stretch yourself and be more. This year we're breaking the bias. So
be more. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Thank you so much. I'm going to put Rhoda's handle on the screen so you can please follow her and connect with me as well. I'll sure see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.